Okay, so I've heard there's a lot of students here. Who is studying now? Perfect, awesome. How many of you have used Unreal already? Okay, so there's a lot of you who haven't, right? Good. So like this is a question actually, right? I'm happy about that because I pivoted my presentation last minute specifically for this kind of audience, so yeah. Hi, I'm Krzysiek Pachulski. I'm technical evangelist at Epic Games, which means basically that I'm here for you if you need me. So basically I'm the first contact person in the company. If you need anything from Epic Games, hit me and we can try to sort it out. Like I can try to find you answers or whatever. Also, I'm here, like, you know, I'm responsible for Eastern Europe in general, so like whatever is happening here is my territory, so like just feel free to come to me. I'm technical, which means I can help you with technical questions, but I'm also helping with other stuff. Yeah. For easier reference, I mean, like I use Dalton sometimes as my nickname, so you know, because Krzysztof is like, okay, you guys have a lot of those sounds as we have in Polish, so it might be easier for you, but in other countries, yeah. What is Unreal, right? I bet you know what is Unreal, but like let's talk a little bit about it, like what's Unreal good for, okay? And my opinion, personal, is like anything that is 3D and regardless platform. So you can see that, for example, Fortnite, it was created like, you know, for every platform that is there, basically. It's actually one project that is just scaled down. I mean, it automatically scales down to every platform. So like when they created build for mobile, they use the same project as they do for PC, right? So Unreal scales very well, even to mobile, to consoles, to PC, to high-end graphics, everything. So in my opinion, like, you know, if you do anything 3D, Unreal is great for you, right? Maybe not necessarily for 2D games at this point, because we don't have a lot of tools that support that. It will maybe change or maybe not. But if you are doing anything 3D, yeah, I think it's a good tool for you. I don't have more slides on purpose, so let's. Oh, we're good. Okay. Let's just open the editor, right? I mean, like, yeah, let's create a game. I'm going to be juggling with microphones, so bear with me, I'm sorry. Okay, so yeah, let's just create something. Let's start with first person template. I'm not, like, I have only like 25 minutes, so I'm not going to set up everything from grounds up. I just want to show you a little bit of Unreal, how it works, like how you can easily work with it, right? And yeah, you can use some templates to start with. Yeah, let's just call it. How do we call the project?
New project.
New project. Okay. New project. Good. Some customization always pays off. Okay. Yeah. We're good. Our new project is starting. Okay. And we should be ready to work on it in a moment. Okay, so I have this idea for a game that I'm gonna try to create here and now. Basically, it's a shooter game, like, because we have a first person and this template has already shooting mechanic. I might actually turn this volume down a little bit. So it's gonna be a shooter game, right? But Unreal is perfect not only for shooter games, this for sure, because like you can do basically anything. Okay, maybe not open world at this point. I mean, like, you could, but like if you want to create GTA, sorry, Grand Theft Auto, then yeah, that was bad. Okay, if you want to create GTA, then maybe you would need to create a lot of customizations in the engine itself. But right away, any kind of project basically. Okay, we have some shooting, right? And we're gonna just mess a little bit with it to add some more things. Okay, so I want to create a game, maybe I'll manage on time, where you shoot targets, but you only see the targets when you eat some cyber mushrooms before, okay? So let's start with the simplest thing, which will be our target. Right? Let's get rid of those. Yeah, let's update it. I don't care really. Yeah, new plugins, dismiss. Okay, my mouse is, okay, we don't want this, we don't want this. Okay. Bank. So this is our project. There is a lot of things that we don't want to touch now, but let's create a target. Target. Say folder. I'm going to use just an actor. Actor is something that you can place in the level, basically. That's it. So, just like game object in Unity, I think. Target. But it's a bit different because, like, here you have like proper kind of classes instead of some base object and components, right? So you create classes, and this class will be base for your objects later. So yeah, we want to create a target. I'm gonna just use simple cylinder for this guy, and let's rotate him, bang, and scale. Like, no, not this way. Yeah, that's better. Okay, I don't like how this target looks like, so I'm gonna just create quickly a simple material. Target. So we all know how the target looks like, right? And like some circles, I think, usually. I mean, like, I don't know, maybe, I'm sorry. Maybe I just know one type of targets, but yeah. But I'm gonna just use UV maps for drawing those circles in my material editor. So here is material editor, and here you can just create basically your material. So like define how the object looks like, right? And I'm gonna use UV, which is some kind of like yeah. When I open this cylinder, you can see that there. I'm not sure how familiar you are with all those concepts, but so UV maps shows us like if we have a texture, then this texture will be like, you can see the circle around, and this is probably, we can figure out that this is probably this area. So if you put a texture here, some kind of like image, and this image has something on it, it will be basically mapped on this, right? So like, if there is a flower in the middle, then there will be a flower in the middle. Okay, I'm not gonna get too much into details regarding those things, but that was important. So there will be some mambo jumbo now. I'm taking length of texture coordinates, so of those UVs. UVs are always from 0 to 1, so I'm gonna make the best out of it. And now I'm gonna just subtract half from each and multiply it by 2. And I'm gonna show you how it looks like. So yeah, so this is our UV map. This is what I do with that. And the effects. And now, yep, okay, so I did some transformations to make them, to center it out. And now I'm gonna just use this length as my reference for the color. So if I do round, for example, and then before, I really want to multiply it by 5, sorry. Multiply it by 5. You can see some tiny little circle in the middle. I multiplied it by 5. Now I use frac, which is a fractional part of each value. Okay, it's looking close to what the target is now. And now, yeah, I think it's better. So I'm gonna plug it into, for example, Emissive Color right now. Good. So I have my target kind of. I'm gonna just now multiply it by a color. Okay, let's not do emissive now. Let's go here and constant 3 vector. And I should have something that looks like a target. Nice. Okay. I'm going to put this material here. Now, okay, great. One more thing. So I don't think targets are black usually. I don't know if there's any standard for targets, but I would rather instead use different colors. So I'll use red and white. Oh, sorry, not color. Great, now we have our target. Good. So we don't have them on the level, but we can place them right in. Yeah, that's the target. My mouse is a bit. Okay, whatever. So like now we shoot the target and nothing happens. So this is easily solvable. We just need to go to our projectile. So we need to find one blueprint here from this project, and projectile is just this ball that is jumping out. And I want to move this down because there is what happens on the event of hit, right? So what happens if the projectile hits something, and if it hits a target. So I'm gonna just take the other value here called other, which is other actor. So the actor that was hit. And I'm going to try to check if this is a target. So I'm going to cast to target, BEP target, and then I'm going to just destroy the target. Destroy actor. Okay. Yep. Okay, it works. So we now have our target destroyed, right? So when the projectile hits. The target will get destroyed. It's good, but now let's use this target. Okay, I don't really like how the target looks like now. Let's multiply it by 1, not by 2. So let's not multiply it simply, and it's good. Now it's better. Okay. Good. So I don't want to place all the targets in the level myself. So sorry. So I'm going to create a simple spawner for them, and yeah. So let's get back to. I forgot where I left my stuff. Oh, here. Okay. Here's the target. So I'm going to create a target spawner, and I'll make it of two things. I'll create a target spawn manager and target spawn volume. Okay, targets, yeah, MVP target spawn volume. And target spawn volume will be something that I will place on walls, and then the target manager, the target spawn manager will randomly spawn in one of those volumes on the level. You know, the target for ourselves. So the target manager is something that we will just place on the level. This guy will, at the beginning of the map, it will get all actors from class, all actors of class, and you shouldn't probably do it more than, you know, like this kind of thing more than once. So I do it at the beginning of the game. So like even begin play is something that is called at the very beginning of the game. Just like, you know, the start event in Unity, for example. How many of you used Unity? So I can reference to that, right? It's going to be a bit easier. Okay, so so this is like the, I think it's called start in Unity. So this is our event begin play. And at the beginning of the level, at the start of the level, I want to get all the actors of class target spawn volume, and I'm going to promote this to variable. So I'm right-clicking, and now I have a variable that holds all of those, all of those spawn volumes. Yeah, I'm going to call it spawn volumes. Okay. Okay, spawn volumes, great. And I'm going to start a timer. So usually, like, a lot of people do things on tick, which is like kind of an update from Unity. But it's always better to, like, if it's something that happens like every 5 seconds or something like that, like it's better to use, instead of tick, it's better to use a timer. So I'm going to create a timer and I'll use set timer by event to do that. I'm gonna say that, okay, it's gonna happen every half a second, and it's gonna be looping. So every half second, it's gonna, like, call this event. And I'll create custom event, so a new event, and I'll call it spawn a target. This A is redundant, but whatever. Okay, so now I want to pick one random spawn volume from our scene. So I'm gonna use get a copy, which means that I'm basically getting a copy of reference, which is just this reference. And then I'm gonna get length of my array. So I'm gonna check, okay, how many volumes are on the level. Okay, fine. I'm gonna get one random integer from 0 to 1 minus this length, because this is you can see it's from 0 to max. Oh, it's not visible, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna be able to make it bigger though. So yeah, but the max value is not included in the randomization process. And now, yeah, I want to spawn actor from class. But to do that, I need to find a random point somewhere in the volume. So I need to create this volume first, because this is an empty actor now. Okay, so I'm gonna create I'm gonna add box here, box collision. I'm gonna by default zero out the X, not zero out, but maybe just to make it, yeah, 0.01. And then I'm gonna just place a random volume here. Oh shit, my mouse is not working properly, but it's all right. I'm gonna manage. Yeah, so let's just place it here on the wall, and now when we have that, I'm gonna also just put the spawn manager here just in case, because I'll forget later. Okay, so now we can get our box, get box, boom, 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 get box from here, and there is a function that is called get random point in get random point in bounding box. Okay, yeah. So I'm going to use this random point in bounding box, and bounding box I'll get just from this box. So get bounding box, get component bounds, I put origin, box extend here. And one more thing that we have to do is, okay, two more things. Set the target, okay, set class to target, and then just get rotation from our spawner and feed it to the new target that is, oh, yeah, I hit the wrong button. Help, I need help. Okay, and they should start spawning, okay, every half a second a target spawns. So with this kind of build, we can quickly run into issue that, like, after an hour of this running, we run out of memory or whatever, because like we have already, you can calculate it, like one target half a second, so like 2 targets per second. So, you know, it's 120 per minute and so on and so on. So we don't want that. So I'm just gonna go to the target, and each class, each actor has something called lifespan, initial lifespan. So initial lifespan is basically, okay, now I can see it's super hard to see those things that I'm doing, but okay, we're gonna bear with it. There is a option, yeah, so, is it better now? Yeah, so there is this initial lifespan thing, okay? And this is basically like when this time passes, the actor is destroyed just by default, okay? So I just will continue spawning, but they will also disappear after like, let's say, 10 seconds. Yeah, I don't want that anymore for now. Come on, regain focus. Good, okay, after 10 seconds, and maybe just to show it, let's put it to 5, And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the middle target should disappear in a moment. Yeah, and they keep disappearing. So now we're quite good. We're quite all right with like we don't have to worry about like leaving it run for even 10 hours. Okay, we don't care. Okay, I have like 10 minutes left, so let's quickly continue. I'm not gonna be counting points now, but you can probably quickly figure out that we just go here to the projectile, and when we call this destroy actor, we will add points to the player. But what I want to do is change a bit of visuals here. So like, let's see, I can already destroy the targets. Let's work a little bit on the projectile because I don't like how this works and how this looks like. So first of all, I'm gonna just make it half the size. Nah, not this one. Okay, half the size. I'm gonna set the projectile speed. There is some kind of thing like projectile component, and this like calculates of all of the like values for us. So I'm gonna just put 15,000 for instead of 3,000 for a speed of the projectile, and this should already look way better. Yeah, it's way nicer. Although for some reason it stopped colliding with things. Oh no, it does collide with things. Okay. Good. So now I'm going to wait. Where's my projectile? Here. Okay. Now I'm going to like change the material a little bit. Okay. So like let's do a very simple material, and this one. So when I hit a number like 3, for example, and click in material editor, then a vector of with this amount of values appears. So like if I hit 1, there is a scalar value. If I hit 2, there is a 2D vector. If I hit 3, 3D vector for 4D vector. So I'm gonna just put this to emissive color, and emissive color is this kind of nice thing that allows you to multiply it, like, you know, the color by like, I don't know, 25, 50, for example, and it will just glow. Yeah, maybe not. Yeah, maybe cyan would be nicer. Yeah, so I like this. Let's go to the projectile. If I have my material selected here, and I go to, for example, the projectile, click on this, then I can quickly use this arrow to input this material here. Okay, now it's decent. One more thing, because I've broken the projectile a little bit. If we don't hit the target, then we're gonna still do the check for other physically enabled objects. So like it's just nicer to be able to shoot them. Yeah. Also, of course, I forgot, but I can add more of those here, right? Because I've already prepared that. Bang. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. Yeah. I'm not gonna just do the level design here, really, but yeah. Okay. So now we have both spawn points, and they both work. Okay, good. Let's now fix the visuals a little bit. I don't want you. I don't want you. And I don't want this guy. Yeah, this looks different now, right? Okay, so I'm gonna just create a material. Let's just call it materials. I don't like calling folders like that, but whatever. Let's create a material that will create a kind of grid around us, but only around us. Okay? So I'll call it grid. Yeah. So instead of doing it as in a material, I'm gonna use material function to be able to inject this grid into every other material. So I'm gonna use material function, which is just a material, but a kind of one that can be just, you know, inputting other materials. So like let's call it distance to player fade, and I'm gonna use, because we need to have a player position somehow, so I'm gonna use material parameter collection and call it NPC globals, and yeah, call this vector player location. And now in my material function, I can use this player location. So get collection parameter. Let's speak our collection and let's use player location. It's not very visible, I can see. I'm sorry about that. Okay, so get world position. Okay, and to calculate a distance from the player, I subtract player location from the position on the material, on the mesh, and I get length. Then this length, because now we have the distance from the player, right? I just want to have a value from 0 to 1 in proximity of like 750 centimeters, so like 7.5 meters, let's say. So I'm going to divide it by 750 and just clump it from 0 to 1. So I'm going to make sure that everything that is closer than 750 centimeters, there will be a gradient from us to that point, and afterwards we won't calculate it. Like it will be just a value of 1. But I also want to invert it, so I'm going to use 1 minus. So, you know, value from 0 to 1, and if you do 1 minus 1, you get 0. If you get 0 minus 1, sorry, 1 minus 0, you get 1, right? So we invert the range to be from 1 to 0 instead of from 0 to 1. So we're going to have a value that will basically be 1 where we stand and 0 in 750 meters, centimeters. Sorry. We have like 3 minutes. I'm gonna just be very quick. I'm not gonna be able to do the mushrooms, so I'm sorry. But I'm gonna show you how I did it before. Okay, so I'm gonna use this value, so distance to player fade, and now I'm gonna use a texture world aligned texture. Yes, we have it. So texture object. And show engine content grid. So what I'm doing now is I'm creating a texture that will be world aligned, so it will be in world, it will be dependent on the world position instead of the local position of the mesh itself. And I want it to be scaled by 100 centimeters in each axis. And now I'm gonna multiply the effect by some color, almost, and yeah. Sorry, 1, 3. I'm finishing. Okay. So yeah, we have to fix one thing because I forgot that there is a vector, and we just need to mask components from. So make 3D vector from 4D vector. Okay, and we should be quite ready. Okay, good. So now, I'm sorry for that. Now woo! Okay, so yeah, but it doesn't work because like the value is always 0. So just very quick fix first person character. Come on. Yes. Yeah. And I'm gonna use event tick, and on tick I'm gonna update this value. So set vector parameter value, parameter collection globals, player location, and here get player location, get actor location. Cool. Yay! We have this. Okay, we're good. So yeah, so now we have this kind of cyberpunky vibe. I'm sorry, I wanted to like add those mushrooms, but it took a little bit longer with explanation. Yeah. So just if you have anything, like any questions around about Unreal, Epic, or whatever, we can do it like after the presentation, like in a moment, because I'm finishing now. I'm gonna be here till the very end. So just so you know, hit me up with anything. So quick showcase of like how it was supposed to look like. So if you eat the mushrooms, because like you eat them, there are mushrooms, then those targets show up and you can hit them. But yeah, but this is like it. It's super simple, super stupid. Yeah, and thank you very much.